Hi, it's Amy from Winterwood Studio, and today we're talking about that feeling that I think all of us artists have had at one time or another, and that is that really tough feeling of feeling like our art is not good enough. I have definitely experienced that myself in a couple very public ways, which I am going to tell you about today. And we'll also talk a little bit about how to get past that and how to deal with it and what we can do to make ourselves feel better. This is a special video, obviously. This is not my normal uploading day. I just wanted to talk about this because I've been thinking about it a lot lately. And I also painted a cute little painting of a blue jay with watercolor and gouache, and I thought I could talk a little bit about it while I show you how I painted the painting. Yep, I do. I have it right here. This is the little painting you're gonna see me paint. This is a little blue jay I painted. And I will show you how I did that. I used my Daniel Smith watercolors for the base, mostly because I had them already out, and then the Shinhan gouache for the top layer. So come on in and let's talk about this tough subject while we paint a little happy blue jay. Okay, so the other design that is going to be one of the main themes in my shop update, other than the goldfinch, is a blue jay. I'm planning two themed sets of products, one with goldfinches and one with blue jays. So I'm going to paint this blue jay that I drew right here. I'm going to start with watercolor and then move to gouache. So this is a video that I've been feeling like I needed to make for a while, but also I haven't made it because I think it's going to be a little bit hard for me to talk about some of this. So what do you do when you feel like your art isn't good enough? Well, first of all, this is going to be the hard part. We're going to start with a story time. I'm going to tell you about 2 times where I felt my art was not good enough. So the first time, we're going to go all the way back to high school art class, freshman year in art. So I was a pretty good student growing up. I graduated with a 3.96 GPA, and there was only one class that I didn't get straight A's in. And I'm wondering if you can guess which class it was. Yep, it was art. I got a C in art my freshman year, and I did not take another art class after that because I was afraid to take my GPA down. I grew up loving art. I loved to draw. I loved to paint. I loved to make things with my hands. And I was super excited to take high school art classes. And it went well for a few months, and then we had an assignment where we had to design our dream house. And I did my house, I was a freshman, so, a young kid, but there were no windows. There were lots of disco balls and night sky ceilings with stars and little lights, and the walls were a velvety purple, and there were cushions to sit on and silk draperies, and there were no windows. Not a single window anywhere in the house because it was a nighttime house. And it was supposed to feel like night all the time. And, I was, like I said, 14. And the teacher didn't like it. And she gave me a D on that one project because I didn't put windows in. And I went to talk to her about it, and she wasn't super nice about it. And I don't remember exactly what she said, but I do remember feeling like she thought art wasn't for me. And that was the last art class I took. My GPA was important to me. I wanted to get into a good college. I had big plans, and I did not take another art class in high school. And in fact, I didn't take another art class or draw or paint for, I think, 5 years after that. It really bothered me. So that's my first story. And then my second story is more recent, and this is the one that is hard to share. I live in a small town. I think maybe our population is around 2,000 people. We do have a pretty large tourist trade here, so we have, stores and shops and stuff catering to the tourists that come up. And we have an art gallery. And about a year and a half ago, I asked if I could submit some artwork to that gallery. And they said sure, and to bring over several pieces. And I did. And I waited 2 months to hear back from them, and they rejected me. And I was absolutely crushed. Absolutely crushed. This was before I started my YouTube channel. And from the time they rejected the paintings to the time I started the YouTube channel, that was about 6 months. And I did not draw or paint anything during that time. They did say all the feedback they gave me was that my art didn't fit their vision of their gallery. Yeah, it really made me feel rejected. So what do we do when we have incidences like that where we feel our art is not good enough? I have not handled it very well in the past. And I was in a slump after my art got rejected from the gallery. And then I decided that I can't let other people's opinions of my art affect whether or not I make art in the first place. And the weird thing is that rejection was kind of what pushed me into starting the YouTube channel in the first place, because I felt like if I'm going to let that little amount of rejection get to me, then I need to get more used to being rejected so that it doesn't bother me so much that it sends me into a tailspin. And I started my YouTube channel thinking that it would help maybe toughen me up a little bit. As I've talked about before, I am a people pleaser. So when I find out somebody isn't happy with something I made, or they don't like it, or they think I'm a bad artist, it really affects me. I've spent my whole life trying to learn how to let that go and move on, and I've gotten a lot better, but I'm nowhere near where I would like to be, and I need to find ways to get around that. I don't want that controlling my life for the rest of my life. I want to do what I want to do and create what I want to create and not care what other people think. So in a weird way, step one of my plan to make myself not care was to expose myself to more rejection, which was the YouTube channel. Although I will say I have not applied to any galleries or like Pastel Society America or any of those other things that I wanted to do yet, because I'm still smarting a little from that rejection. Okay, so now I'm going to work on the gouache layer, and I'm going to be using these beautiful gouache tubes that Shin Han sent me. And let's see, I think the first thing I'm going to do is mix up some whitish gray. Step 2 is to try to figure out areas where my artwork needs to be improved and then improve it. There's a very real chance that they rejected me because maybe something wasn't good enough. I'm still learning, and I hope to continue to learn for as long as I am alive and creating art. But, maybe take a step back and look at your art and where can you improve. I know my landscapes and my portraits need work, which was one of the reasons why that was one of my goals for this year. I wanted to work on those and get better at those. And my third step that I took was to really think about and pay attention to the fact that art really is subjective. Maybe they just didn't like my style. Maybe they prefer more impressionistic or more abstract. Just because someone or a group of people don't like my work or choose not to have it in their gallery doesn't mean that my work isn't good or that it doesn't have value. It just means they didn't want it for whatever reason, and it doesn't even necessarily have to do anything with art. Maybe they were full, So the important part is trying to stay a little bit detached from the rejections and trying to remember that your worth as an artist isn't based on what other people think. Your value as an artist isn't based on whether or not other people like it. I get other things out of my art other than sharing it and having people like it. I mean, sure, that's nice, but I also use it as a therapy to help me deal with my chronic illness. And I also use it as a form of stress relief and relaxation. I mean, yeah, I want people to like my art and enjoy looking at it and think it's good and want to hang it on their walls. But I also have to be realistic and know that not everyone will. Not everyone will like my style. So that is my 3-step plan in a nutshell. 1, get used to rejection. 2, improve your art as best you can. And 3, realize that not all criticism and judgment of your art is valid, and learn to be detached from it. So I hope that was a little bit helpful for all of you out there. It was a little hard sharing my stories, but I think it's better to put that kind of stuff out there so people can know that they're not alone and they're not the only people who have gone through things like that. And we all feel that feeling from time to time. So if this video was helpful to you in any way, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button or hit the thumbs button, all of that. Thumbs up button. All of that helps push my video a little bit higher in the algorithm, which makes YouTube show it to more people because they realize it's quality content. Don't forget, if you want to get my special sauce ebook, this is all the secret special sauce ingredients for making stickers and art prints and setting up your own art shop. Even down to like the sticker paper I use, the inks in which printers I use, and even the settings for the printer are all in here. You can get this for $4.99 over on my website, but my Patreons will get it, the Patreons that are $4 and up will get it for free until somewhere around mid-August. So I'm thinking this video will go up before then. So if you see this and you want to grab that by becoming a patron, head on over there. Both of those links will be linked down below. And until next time, happy creating!